Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be showing you how to insert your own custom music into PlayStation and Saturn games. Um, there are a few requirements to keep in mind. First of all, your game has to use Redbook audio. For the uninitiated, CDs actually have multiple track types. There's the different types of tracks on the CD are referred to as the rainbow books. The red book is the first one, which refers to audio CDs, because that's what CDs were originally intended for. And then the cyan book, which is the only other relevant one really, is for ISO 9660 file systems, ISO being International Standards Organization. If you've ever wondered why sometimes copies of discs you download from the internet have an ISO extension, that's where that comes from. So the first track on any PS1 or Saturn game, or even any PC game that comes on a CD, is going to be a cyan book track. And then if your game is compatible with this method, every other track after that is going to be a red book track. The easiest way to know if this will work is if you have a CD player lying around, or if you have a CD drive in your computer still, like me, you can just open the CD in a media player and it should pick up all the tracks after track one. You can also do, sorry, I'm going to jump scare some people with the Linux terminal, but you can also do, if I go to my drive with all of my emulated games on it. I'm going to do this with a PlayStation game just to demonstrate. The same thing will work on the Saturn. So PSX. I don't know why I have that name PSX. That's wrong. So here we go. I have the entire Wipeout trilogy in here. And another way to know is if I open Audacity here on Windows. On Linux, you can just use aplay as well. So I'm gonna show two different ways to tell. If your game has any tracks after track one, so if you have a track two, track three, track four, that's a good sign. It will not work if your game comes as an ISO file or if you only have one bin track. If you only have one track, it's not going to work. So the next thing you want to make sure is I'm on Linux, so I can just do aplay fcd, and then I don't know. I'm going to do like wipeout. I can just do wipeout and then track 2 dot bin. And as you can see, you can hear that. Now, if you're on Windows, you're not going to have aplay. I expect most of you watching this are going to be on Windows. So you're going to want to, if you have Audacity, just open that. If you don't have Audacity, install it. It's free. Everyone has it. You want to do import raw data. And I'm just going to go to my emulator files, PSX, and then import that file as raw data. So uh, you'll want to have signed 16-bit PCM with 2 channels and Little Indian at 44,000 hertz. And there's your CD audio. So if you hear music when you import track 2 or onwards into Audacity or AlsaPlay, you know you've got a compatible game that can take this method. Now, to actually replace the music, you're going to go into Audacity. This is one way you can do it. You can also do this with FFmpeg. I think there's a way to pipe aplay into a file. I don't know those methods. I'm just going to show you how to do it in Audacity. So you'll want to open your song in, I'm just going to pick a random song. So I'm going to go to my music folder, albums. I'll do Leave You Far Behind by Lunatic. And then you just want to go to export audio. The format should be other uncompressed files. Channel should be stereo. Sample rate should be 44,000 hertz. Don't pick 48,000. Very easy mistake to make. And then the header needs to be, this is very important, the header needs to be raw headerless. And the encoding needs to be signed 16-bit PCM. Once that's done, that's the folder for the Saturn version, sorry. Let's go to, actually it doesn't matter where I save it because I'm just going to show you, yeah, leave.raw or something in my documents. I don't know. And then just export that once that's done. I can just approve that it works. Let me go to my documents, aplay fcd leave.raw. As you can see, you can hear it. So if you were to replace one of the bin files on your CD with this raw file and give it the same file name, or just point your cue sheet to it, that'll work too. You would hear this music in the game. So I'm just going to demonstrate this real quick through an emulator. I think, let's see, I don't usually do PS1 emulation on here anymore, but I'll just do Mednafe. I'll do this with the Saturn game just to demonstrate. I do have some of those. So let me just plug in my SD card with all my Saturn stuff. If I go to Documents, leave.raw, and then I just want to go to where my game is, Saru ISO. This is a Saturn game I'm doing this with. Just doesn't really matter though. The same thing on PlayStation. Well, let's say I want to do. I'll do track 2. Which track is this? Hold on, I want to see which song this is. Okay, I think it's the Sega intro. So if I replace this with, let me just name this old, and then let's see, and then I were to open the game in an emulator. Let's see, Daytona USA. Okay, let's see if it works now. I don't have a controller plugged in, that's in the other room, so. And there you have it. Works like a charm. This will work in any game on any platform that uses Redbook audio. Again, Redbook is anything that uses traditional CD audio, so this won't work with a game that stores its music in a proprietary format. Again, the easiest way to know if it's compatible, just put it in a CD player. If it starts playing the soundtrack, you know it'll work.